let me introduce you to one of the best series in the world. And the reason why we're playing this one first is because it's the prequel to the game that I want to play or want to play with someone. Things happen. So I'm holding you hostage and showing you this game whether you like it or not. So, one of my favorite games from one of my favorite companies ever, SVB Games, who also played Super Snap, the first game that you ever played on your Switch. Here is Detective Grimoire. And if you want an adventure, I've got an adventure for you. Do you like voice acting? Do you like colorful characters? Do you like wonderful puzzles? Well, look no further because here we are. Have I played this game? Of course I have. But I'm going to try to speedrun and try to remember everything together. Oh! Obviously, nothing that I did got saved. I will not tell you anything, obviously. I will play this genuinely, and I'll try to get to everything as I can. Here we go. Oh, sound is important.
2025 last night, a murder occurred in a remote part of this swamp. A small tourist attraction deep within the heart of the martian.
Hold on. A tourist attraction? Here? I don't get it. Why would anyone come here by choice?
I've explained this already. This area is famous.
Famous? All I read was that some idiot thought they saw an alien here 100 years ago.
Get your facts straight for once. We're talking about a creature that's lived in the swamp for over 60 years.
Okay, so it's a 60-year-old alien. I still don't see why it matters.
If it matters to anyone, it's you. That creature is our prime suspect.
The murder suspect?
That's right. This is no Loch Ness monster. You need to be taking this seriously.
No, look, come on. How am I supposed to arrest something that might not exist?
We've always enjoyed a challenge before. You can start by reading this.
Our case file? There's not a lot of it, is there?
As usual, we only know the bare essentials at this point.
Alright, so this game is fully voice acted, so I won't have to save a lot of voice for me. But that's what makes this game even beautiful, because I won't have to read anything. You can hear all their voices. Anyway. Oh, I know the time. I know military time. Alrighty then. Richard Remington, founder of the tourist attraction Boggy's Bog, was found dead outside of his office at 20:45 last night. Take care. See you later. Exact cause of death? Unknown. 3 small wounds to the chest suggest an attack from the clawed creature. Slime around the wound and footprints found at the scene suggest that the culprit was Boggy, the legendary swamp creature. Any of the 7 other people present at the swamp last night could hold vital information. Page 2. This is all the stuff that we have so far. Ooh, look at this stuff. Who's our suspect here? Ooh, crazy.
Our murder victim, Richard Remington, he was in charge of this, tourist attraction. Boggy's Bog? What a name.
Boggy is the name of our creature. Well, nowadays it is.
You mean that stupid cartoon character? I've heard of him. That thing is our murder suspect?
There's more to Boggy than the cartoon character, I promise you. This is the place it all began. You'll find out soon enough.
I'm so happy I'm introducing you guys to this wonderful series. Chapter 1, A Swamp Full of Secrets.
Your case file is in the top right. You can look at your clues and suspect profiles in here. When you've collected some, of course. I'll stay and guard our boat, so if you're confused, come back here and I'll help you.
Alright. So this is our clue docket. This is anything we learned about this case. This is anything we learned about this guy. This is how many people we've talked to, or stuff like that. How percentage of the game we've got to. Anyway, let's go.
That's where I need to go. I can switch to walk mode with the button in the bottom right. Oh, and if I'm feeling confident, I can turn off those sparkly hit icons in the options menu.
I'm probably gonna turn that off.
Wow, you didn't get lost yet.
No, I only just got here. Who are you?
You don't remember. Of course, you're not great at remembering. I should be offended, though.
Either one is great. It's fine.
You're that weird girl from the fairground.
Saw your hat blow through here already. You must be slow, if it wouldn't even wait for you.
Well, if you'll let me, I'd better go after it. You can...
Sorry.
You'll get lost. I would never forgive myself if I let you go through without the map.
You have a map of the swamp?
Not anymore. I'm giving it to you.
You should really stay here. It's dangerous. There's been a murder. Although I suppose you know all about it already?
They're saying it was the creature, but it can't be him. He doesn't seem like a killing sort of creature. Nope. He's a different sort of creature.
Wait, what do you mean? If you... she disappeared. I might pretend I imagined her.
She's so interesting. I'm really sad that she...
It's an old statue of Boggy. His feet are hidden in a bucket of murky water.
She's really great, honestly.
It's an opportunity for a photographic memento. The two characters are an explorer and Boggy himself. Are they... fighting?
Interesting. I'm sad because, like, you know, we don't really see her a lot in this game, but she is important. Okay.
Just my luck, the gate's closed. Looks like I can move these metal latches around. I should just have to slide at least one of them out of the bottom of the lock. Then I'll be able to get through this gate. Probably.
Okay, this comes into, can Neby figure this out again? Nope. Got it. Do I have to get both of them off?
Just my... Looks like I should just... Then
Oh,
probably...
I thought I got it right. Guess not. Honestly, I thought I got it right, but I guess not.
Don't forget. Just look. I should probably...
It said I only had to move one, So I'm trying to remember how I did this. Ah, I remember now. You stay here.
Hey, nice. I might get one of these from my office.
This was so ridiculous. I actually want someone else to play this game, but because I already have it, so I'm waiting to see when that will happen. But I'm basically making them learn this game first. Honestly,
This
Fire,
is a tourist
if
attraction?
you would like, you're more than welcome to come and watch this with me. Like, and play this one with me. The only problem with that is that, like, the thing is, this game is fully voiced, so I wouldn't know how.
The whole thing just doesn't make sense to me.
I guess I would treat you like Opsy, in which I would be like, which way do you think I should go?
Let's do some thinking. Drag any 2 stray thoughts into those slots at the bottom, and flick through the connecting statements in between to make a sentence. Tap the confirm button to try it out. I just have to focus my thoughts and reach a conclusion. Boggy's Bog seems like the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry that you feel sick. Hopefully you get better.
The swamp is far too remote for the tourist attraction to make any money. It's really bugging me. What's the story behind this place?
And let's see, I'm basically doing this all from memory, so... forget which way I had to go. I think I can go this way.
These flower petals seem a little out of place lying on the ground over there. Looks like this path leads towards the northwest corner of Boggy's Bog. I can't wait. A rather prominent tree stump looming over the wooden pathway. It's hard to ignore.
I like how everything in this game you can look at. You can literally look at everything. The sky, everything like that.
Looks like this path... I should visit the crime scene before I do anything else. I think Officer James said it was to the west.
Let's see here. So... East,
I should visit the... I think of...
Was that not the west? Is it not this way? This is the left, right? Yeah, it's this way. I'm like doing the... Listen, don't judge me. I'm literally doing it in my head, like, where's the compass in my head?
Rocks sitting in the water like stepping stones. If that was a natural occurrence, it's a very convenient one. This area is kind of empty. I can't see anything worth writing down. I should visit... I think...
Oh, I guess we keep going west, so I keep forgetting it's to the west. Ooh, hello. Ominous.
There are bizarre footprints with 3 toes leading up to the office door. And back down into those reeds by the water. There are What's this? There's a lockpick dropped amongst the weeds down here in the water. I just have to work out which vine to break and tap that button.
Alrighty, so here we go.
That's the one, but I wonder where this lockpick came from.
A lockpick discarded near the entrance of Remington's office, covered in a strange liquid slime, most likely used by the murderer to break into the Remington's office. Oh no, did you lose your voice fire? That's gotta suck.
So, this is where they found Remington's body.
Oh, it looks like he was pushed out the window! Okay, does anyone watch Ace Attorney and that scene where he does like with the window opening and closing? See when he's just like, ah, love that scene. This is exactly what this is reminding me of. Okay. These are all our clues, by the way. Okay, ominous area.
There's an open window above one of the curtains is ripped and hanging on the outside.
Can we get inside?
I can't get in here without a key. And I don't feel like kicking the door down. Maybe if I get desperate later on.
And unfortunately, we can't use the lockpick because we definitely need that area. So
there are
now we can investigate elsewhere
some
because
suspects.
We can't get in the door.
Let's get this investigation started.
Okay, do we want to interview the Gaston creature here, or do you want to interview the cameraman first? Choose wisely. I mean, you're gonna do both, but who do you want to start with? We don't all answer at once. Cameraman seems more important? Okay.
Alright, let's see. Another suspect for my notebook.
That's a little rude.
No, I'm sorry. Did I say that bit out loud?
Maybe not. Maybe I can hear your thoughts.
So would you be able to answer my questions before I asked you?
Would you be able to question my answers before I tell you?
I could try.
I'm Bobby Burl, professional cameraman. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Detective Grimoire. I'm here to investigate last night's murder.
Hi, Lila. Great
Grimoire.
timing.
Strange. Is that your first name?
We're playing one of my favorite detective games ever.
It's my second name. Detective is my first name.
I love their conversations. Let's see here.
So you already told me what you do, but now, why would a cameraman be working here?
I go where I'm needed. Vincent wanted to come to the swamp, and I was happy to help.
Vincent Vanderpeer. You mean that man standing on that rock over there?
That's right. I've worked with him for many years.
Is he your boss?
Oh, I don't know about that. We work together. He's tried to film here before, but he never got permission until about a week ago.
Oh, really? But why did you want to come here in the first place?
If you're looking for a reason to write down in your notebook, I'm sure he can tell you if you ask him. I'm just the guy who carries around the camera.
You always carry that camera with you?
Most of the time.
You were here yesterday, I presume? Last night?
Yes, I was.
Here, in this clearing?
Yes.
No, I was over at the cafe getting something to eat. Richard Remington
I
was there
really
too.
love the
Remington?
designs of all
You
the
saw him
characters
last night?
so much.
Just before the murder?
That's right, I saw
and the
him.
voices are beautiful.
He left the cafe looking rather ill. I offered to help, but he just wanted to go back to his office. He looked like he had a lot on his mind.
He was ill yesterday?
Perhaps it was something he ate.
Let's see here. So once we find out more stuff, we'll be able to open those too. So we don't really have. We can present a clue, see if he knows anything, which we may not know, but from what we have, maybe we can start off what we got. So
What is it? Some evidence from last night's murder?
Didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
See if he knows anything about the lockpick.
I'm sorry, I have not seen that before.
News? Nothing. Let's see if we know anything about people, maybe.
You should ask someone else.
No? What do you know
Try
about
showing
them?
it to somebody different.
You are just know nothing. Alright, now let's interview fake Gaston here.
Yes, do you have a message for me?
No, I don't think so.
Then why are you here? I'm incredibly busy.
You don't look it. Who are you, anyway?
What a question. You're serious? I am Vincent van der Peer.
Oh, wow.
The famous movie director?
The
Dang.
artist, the visionary, the auteur. I'm a man of many talents.
Uh-huh. I heard your work was going down here lately, even though we've never heard of him. Let's hope you have a talent for answering my
That's
questions.
great. Let's hope you have a talent for answering my questions.
You're in my light. Could you take a few steps back, please?
No.
But then I'd be too far away to talk to you.
I know.
Can anyone just walk in here and start filming?
Oh, this ghost is referencing to their other game they made. Let's see.
Vincent van der Peer only recently got permission from Richard Remington to film here in the swamp. I wonder if Mr. van der Peer has been breaking rules. Or maybe he'll have an excuse.
The challenge topic will now be available when you open. So now that we know that, we can basically push him in a way, in a sense, to ask the more tougher questions. But before we do that, let's see if we can ask our lovely friend here about our buddy here.
The famous director and my friend.
That's all you had to say about him? Interesting. So let's press the man that we need to press.
What's a famous guy like you doing in a place like this?
Quite. I'm sure you're thinking, why doesn't he send an assistant? But
Yeah.
that's not the way this director works.
I'm sure.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, I'm
I'm sure.
discovering.
Oh, you
this
know.
area,
How
the
was I
history,
not
the
aware?
atmosphere. It's the perfect setting for my next film. I'm on a scouting mission to get to know this swamp before I begin work
this
on
particular
the
swamp?
latest masterpiece in a string of masterpieces.
This particular
You're
dirty
making a
swamp.
movie about Boggy. About the swamp creature?
Of course. He's a fascinating individual, isn't he? So mysterious.
No idea.
Imagining hitting rock bottom
Is
that
that
you have to
your
rock,
cameraman
that
over
you
there?
have to make a movie about
Yes, that's
Nessie.
right. Bobby Burl, my faithful right-hand man. Well, faithful enough, you know.
No, I don't know.
He's an expert cameraman. Really knows his trade, of course. But he gets a bit muddled when it comes to priorities.
Oh,
Like how? You mean he's lazy? He doesn't look lazy. He looks a bit scary.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. He just has a little hobby that sometimes distracts him from his work. But I
dang,
wouldn't want anyone else shooting for me.
he over there doing drugs.
Were you working yesterday? Here in the swamp, I mean?
You know,
Indeed,
standing
I was
around,
working
pretending to
very
do
hard
things.
indeed, well into the night.
Yes,
hard
I
work,
too
is it?
find it hard
Getting
work
to
to
know
just
the
point
swamp?
things.
You jest.
Go,
but yesterday
yes,
I was
stroking
getting
beards
even more
intelligently.
involved than usual. Yes, difficult to comprehend, I know.
So what kind of work were you doing?
Well, I was unable to find my faithful cameraman last night.
Were
He had
you?
hidden himself quite completely from view.
Oh my
Bobby
god.
Burl, right? Did you need him to film for you?
Always. But being a resourceful type of man, I stepped up
Who
and took
films
on the
24/7?
responsibility myself. I was filming in this exact area, in fact.
You were filming? Last night? Here?
Yes, at the time of the murder, I believe. But wait, I know what you're thinking. Now, don't forget, I'm not here to shoot some experimental documentary. I have no interest in late-night surveillance footage.
Did you see anything at all? What is it you were filming?
The water. I was filming the water. It's a fascinating subject, one that has me
You were
captivated
filming
to the point
the
where-
water.
So, you didn't see anything useful? I'm excited there for a minute.
Nothing useful to you, my good detective, but there are some odd sounds on the audio track. Nothing but wild animals going about their nighttime rituals, I'm sure.
So
Is there something I should ask
pointless
the cameraman?
filming. What are my options again? Is that hobby murder, perhaps? I can explain why. I'm trying to do this from memory, and I'm really bad at this.
Vincent Van de Peer doesn't explain why Bobby Burrell was nowhere to be found last night. Maybe I just need to change one thing.
Ooh, we're close.
Vincent Van de
There it
Peer
is.
told me that Bobby Burrell was nowhere to be found last night. Simple enough. What was Mr. Burrell doing last night that meant he couldn't help out his boss?
Great. So we could ask. We can go straight. He looks so high out of his mind in that frame. This is like, oh yeah. We can unlock the challenging topic, but I want to. Let's challenge him first, and then we'll go talk to Barley Boy.
I heard this isn't the first time you've tried to film here.
Where? In the swamp? What are you talking about?
Remington has denied you the filming permission in the past.
Oh, that. Nothing but the natural process of being in a profession like mine.
Well, yeah.
Every situation simply requires the right approach before the
So you
gears
paid
start
him.
turning smoothly.
You paid him money.
understand, I'm sure.
Or you
Why
murdered
did
him
not
so you
want
can
to film
film here.
Why did he change his mind?
Because
It
you
wasn't even up to
murdered
him.
him.
This area is protected, you know. There are certain rules, certain regulations. I
That's why
encounter
he
this
murdered
kind
him.
of thing all the
We
time.
found our
really.
killer. Game over.
That doesn't explain why he changed his tune. It's a little suspicious.
Why would you say that?
A famous movie director suddenly gets his way. I wonder how that happened.
Murder!
Time to use my notebook. Just drag an item onto the paper to draw the idea.
I am famous. I am the boss. I am famous, sword. No, it was funny.
Right. That's the one. I think you bribed Remington to get the filming rights.
Well, bribe is a strong word.
It's also
it was
the
just
truth.
a little arrangement between friends. Nothing
No.
worth getting upset about.
It's
I
all the reason to get
simply
upset.
promised him a cut of my next movie's profits.
So,
it made sense.
0
since he
times
owned the
0 is
area
nothing.
Anyway, just a favor for a favor.
So you get no
owed
money.
him money.
Only a small percentage, simply out of courtesy. And not for a long time, either.
So are you getting a sense of how this game works? So this game is this is how the game works. It's just figuring these things out. And most of the time it's just like, you know, getting the story together based on what people say. So, yeah, this is how the game pretty much goes.
He's been working with me for a number of years. A real expert, of course. Now there's a man who could handle himself.
I'm not so sure.
Well, apart from yesterday. That was just a one-off, wasn't it?
For him, I think so, yes.
The guy is dead. There's no such thing as a one-off. I mean,
Ah, yes. The reason we're all here, of course.
Not me.
Isn't he your prime suspect?
Well, officially, yeah, but I mean...
What an amazing creature! No one has seen him for 60 years and he still manages to get accused of murder. Incredible!
Uh-huh. Can we ask him about himself?
The world's premier director. The king of wit and whimsy. You met him? You're a lucky man.
I just want to see what he was saying about himself again. However. Ooh! Footage recorded last night at the exact time of the murder, filmed by Vincent van Dieppe in the clearing of the west side of the camp near the crime scene. There is nothing to see, but various clues can be heard on the various tracks. Listen to them in order. Sounds like there was disturbance in the forest. Alright, buddy, let's talk.
A prolific cameraman with exceptional skills at carrying heavy equipment.
Let's talk, buddy.
I heard from Mr. Vanderpure over there that you were nowhere to be found last night.
Didn't I say I was at the cafe?
Yeah, you did. But your director needed you for some filming, and he couldn't find you. What were you doing that was so important?
Well, let's see. After I ate, I had a walk around the swamp. I didn't have my camera, so I was free to stretch my legs for once.
Where was your camera? Don't you carry it around with you all the time?
No, those are heavy.
Not all the time.
You left it with Vanderpure, and he used it instead that night.
Well, yeah.
That's right, he was looking after that camera. So I went for a late-night stroll. This place is beautiful in the evenings.
You just walked around?
Yes.
You didn't do anything? Didn't see anyone?
People do
Well,
that.
I can't
Grimoire.
say that. I have various ways to pass the time, you know.
Vanderpure said you had a hobby on the side.
A likely
Is that what
story.
he said? Well, yes, he's right. I brought 2 cameras with me when I came here. I left my video camera, yes. But I have another one. It's much smaller, and it only takes black and white photographs. You know the kind I mean?
A really old one?
Yes, I suppose so. I've always enjoyed traditional photography, and this place is a wonderful opportunity to take some pictures of a natural environment.
So
It's
you were
mostly
having some
gray,
time off to take
greens,
black
and
white
earth
photographs?
tones.
For fun.
Only one photograph. You have to be disciplined when you're not using a digital camera.
Can I see it?
Of course. I took it near the woods at the back of the swamp. It's quite an interesting shot, but the light qualities weren't perfect. Here we are. Feel free to take a look.
Wait, what? This is a photo?
I haven't developed it yet. I only took it last night. Just brush the developing fluid over the photo to reveal the image.
Woo! Excitement! Hello there.
What? Is that Boggy? The swamp creature just standing in the water?
It could be. Personally, I'm not convinced, but I'll let you decide for yourself.
A blurry photograph taken by Bobby Burley shortly before the murder. It shows something that looks like Boggy in the woods at the back of the swamp. The being in the photo seems to have long legs. We are learning today. No more profiles to present, no more clues to present. Well, let me see.
Vincent's work, I see. I'm glad he knows how to use the camera at least.
What do you think all those noises are?
Well, judging by the time this was recorded, I'd be able to make a pretty good guess.
That guess being what exactly?
Yes, that's my photograph, taken near the woods at the north end of Boggy's Bog. Have you tried looking there?
Okay, so he has something to talk to me about. Let's see. All profiles. Let's see if he can present himself.
You won't be getting very far discussing that with me. Try someone less important.
So that's why I'm talking to you? Because you aren't important, sir?
If you want to not... I don't really have time to be looking at items from your collection. He's a talented man, that Burl. Sometimes I wonder if he'd be better off pursuing his photography full-time, you know?
He should. I mean, look at the beautiful photo he's pursued.
I don't know if it's any use to you at all. I'll film again tonight and try to get a version without all those bizarre noises in the background.
Okay, I think we have everything we need from these two. So we're gonna go head onward. I think we should go... What's over there? No. I don't want to go here yet. I want to go up here first. Oh wait, no, this is the crime scene. I keep forgetting. So, that way we go then. Can we go in here? Let's look around first.
I don't think it's a window, but this hatch is shut at the moment. I can't see inside. This side of the museum is surrounded by blue and red flowers. That's the logo for Boggy's Bog. So, I'm guessing this museum is an official part of the tourist attraction. I hope they don't charge an entrance fee.
This museum looks like it's on its last legs. Like, it looks like it is not going to be stable for more than 2 to 3 visits.
It's a stepping stone path that goes past the museum and into the woods. So glad I'm wearing my best shoes today. The door's jammed unless I can get these brass handles out of the way. Seems like I can rotate them around. Just until the gap in the middle is clear.
Okay. So 1.
That top hat guy would have so struggled with this one.
Wow, that was quick. Oh yes, I forgot all about this character. You're gonna love it.
I'd better take a look at this. This journal, it's full of drawings and notes all about Boggy. It seems to be the centerpiece of the entire museum.
A journal recorded 60 years ago by the explorer who first visited the swamp. The only record of Boggy existing contains notes and sketches in the appearance in the swamp creature. Boggy is shown with 3 small claws on each arm. Boggy's feet are hidden in the water. There seems to be a page ripped out from the back.
Models of Boggy's claws. Hold on. What's this?
What's this?
Something doesn't seem right here. I think I should try arranging these models into pairs. Something seems out of place.
What's this? What's this? Is this not the way I want it to be?
Something.
This game is always so faulty with everything it does. Nope. Did I not do it? Is this not right? Hello? Clearly I did it right, but this game is like so faulty sometimes. Ah, right. You're so smart.
I don't think these gloves are part of the exhibit. It looks like someone tried to hide them here.
These flippers, they're not part of the museum exhibit, that's for sure. Let's see.
It's a poster from the old Boggy cartoon show.
Aww. Look at it. So cute.
Copyright 𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕤. That'll be 1930, 1934?
Mm-hmm. Grimoire, you're so great. Wait, is there anything else?
It's a poster from the old Boggy cartoon show. Some educational facts about swamps. Did you know swamps are gross? Yes? Yes, I did.
Oh, everything about this game is so amazing.
Apparently the museum was founded by the explorer many years ago.
And it was built slantedly? Like, oh, that seems like a solid structure right there.
In a different location.
Yeah.
It's only recently been moved here to be part of the tourist attraction. That might explain why it looks so out of place.
I think it was just thrown here. Alright, let's go talk to Poindexter.
This is a really cramped museum. Just one room, not worth the admission price. Let me guess, you don't work here, do you? I wonder if that makes you the first tourist I've seen today.
You're incorrect, detective. I am no mere tourist.
How did you know I was a detective? Was it my stylish trench coat, my sensitive, inquisitive manner?
It was the clueless expression on your face.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Right. That's it. You've done it now. What's your name?
I go by Folder. Agent Folder. What are you doing?
I forgot that's his name.
I'm writing bad things about you in my notebook.
Anyway, who are you and why are you here, you weird Poindexter?
So, if you're not a tourist, and you don't work
Nerd!
I am a scholar, an academic. I'm here to research the past and uncover the future.
I am a
here,
nerd!
so you're visiting the museum for fun.
Fun! Oh, there's nothing so simple as fun to be had here. I come to this museum night and day to study its secrets.
Ah,
You have nothing better to
what
do?
kind of secrets? It's just a museum about Boggy, right? The swamp creature.
He's one of the most intriguing modern examples of cryptozoology. A fascinating combination of scientific fact and wild speculation.
I'm with you on the speculation front. Although, come to think of it, people have been hinting that I should find out about the history of this creature.
It's a beautiful
suggestion.
creature.
And you've come to the right person.
Oh,
My
have I?
knowledge far exceeds anyone else you might have met so far.
Oh,
So, you'll help me?
No.
I suppose I could divulge some of my findings with you, if you're in the mood for a little light reading. Let me find it for you. Oh yeah, this'll do. Something for beginners at least.
I'm so happy that like he helped us out. Oh my god, we're getting so far, guys. Information about Boggy collected by Agent Folder. Boggy's swamp became protected area after reports of hunting in the area. Boggy's appearance has changed from the original sketch in which he has 3 claws on each finger. The modern character has a simple fin-like arms instead to make him less threatening. No footprints were recorded in the journal, but some experts believe that the information is out there somewhere.
So, Mr. Folder.
Agent Folder.
Yeah, were you here yesterday? What were you doing last night?
I was here, in the museum.
Being a
Going
nerd.
through my files one final time before disappearing into the night.
Don't museums usually close in the evenings?
They do. I've never been one to worry about other people's schedules. I come and go as I please. There's a key to every lock, detective.
Oh, so you have the key to the museum?
Of course I don't. Why would you think that?
Well,
Once again, that clueless expression. I use a lockpick and get in through the small side door. I have a right to be here, you see. Remington has no business locking me out, so I don't
Yes,
let
he
him.
does.
You just admitted to breaking the law.
You literally are
That
breaking
might
an
help you a lot
injury.
easier.
It's not my best lockpick. This new one's cheap. I used to own one, a superior model. Unfortunately, I misplaced it in one of the darker corners of the swamp, so I don't.
I'm writing down your confession about sneaking around here at night.
What are you gonna do? Report me to Remington?
No,
Good
I'm a
luck, my
police
friend.
officer.
I need to pick my questions carefully.
Wow.
The lockpick I found near Remington's body might
back.
belong to Agent Folder. As
No,
far as I know,
he does
Agent
not
Folder is
know.
experienced with lockpicks. I
Well,
wonder if he's hiding something.
What do you think he doesn't know? Because he clearly doesn't understand that he's committed a crime and that that is against the law and that he can't just do as he pleases. Well, let's talk to you, sir, before I bring up some other stuff. Alright.
You're wasting your precious time, detective. I've never seen that.
We're just getting this stuff out of the way.
Actually, this is a classic example of a cryptid photograph.
What's a cryptid?
A creature unknown to science. Look at the slight blurring in this photo, the murky exposure. It's perfect.
It's perfect because it can't really be used as evidence?
Yes!
Now you're catching on.
Did you know recently there was a group, hold on, let me get the headline correct because this is really relevant. This is another reason why I want to play this game. I want to get the headline correct so that none of it, so I get my information presented promptly. I'm trying to make sure I found it correctly because, like, I want to make sure that I bring this up. Because thinking about that actually made me think about this game, so. There was a group of travelers who went out into the sea to try to find Nessie, and they were very disappointed because they could not find her. It was really, really interesting. Hold on, I'm trying to find where the article is. Please hold. Yeah, so they went out to the boat and they went to go see if they could find it, and to their disappointment, they could not find her. It was such a sad, sad situation. Does he not know that Remington was murdered? I don't think a lot of people know what happened. I think he's just been in here the whole time, so we'll see. Maybe I can bring it up.
I have no interest in something like that. Obviously. An important piece of the puzzle. This journal is a key to unlocking the history of this place.
Great. Nice to know that.
This file goes over some basic differences between the genuine creature and the cartoon character. It's nothing more than a basic overview, really.
Is this your lockpick?
Something you found on the floor? Come back when I'm not so busy, alright?
You're not doing anything.
The real swamp creature had claws. 3 on each hand, to be precise. Why does the costume just have these pathetic fins instead?
Alright, let's see if we can talk to you about these people.
This person is of no interest to me whatsoever.
Okay, what about this person?
If I cared about that person, I would know everything I need to know already.
What? How does that relate to anything? Alright, what about Remington?
The man was a fool. That's all you need to know.
You look like a suspect even more so now, Agent Folder.
Are you asking about the cartoon character? Because I have no interest in such childish matters.
No, I think I'm asking about the actual creature. What's the difference anyway?
Everything!
Wow, that told me so much. Thanks, Agent. Tell me about
Next
you.
time, only show me something if it's important. Let's make that a rule.
Alright, since you're gonna be a smart butt.
I have a bone to pick with you.
Are you setting yourself up for a joke? Something about a lockpick?
Maybe. Who knows? Stop distracting me. I'm trying to interrogate you.
My apologies, go ahead.
So, what are we showing Folder now?
this.
Where did I find this again?
Wow. The office?
I found a lockpick
Yes.
at the scene of the crime.
Oh, apparently you did.
I'm
Why
happy
does this concern
you
me?
think so. Because these are the best part of these entire games. Like, these animations were well done. It's so beautiful how they shot everything. Or how they animated everything.
You already admitted to owning one of these, and how you're ever so happy to come and go as you please with it, am I right? Be honest.
Luckily for me, Detective, I was honest with you.
Yes.
I believe I have already explained that second lockpick before you even found it.
Use. Was it this one?
You lost your
Yeah.
lockpick in the swamp and had to buy a new one.
That's right. I appreciate you finding it for me. However, I won't ask for it back. Apparently, it has since become some diabolical instrument in the art of murder.
Yeah, it's an important piece of evidence.
Nice. So we don't have anything else to ask him or talk to him about yet, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Until then, we don't have any more use for him, but we are swimming through this. Speedrun going great. Ooh.
What's this? Looks like the stuff in the water has been moved around recently. Maybe if I reposition them, I'll find a clue.
Ah, I forget what I was trying to make. No, that was right. Hmm. Hold on. I feel like I have an idea of where it goes, but I am confused. Maybe I need to look at it. Okay, I can get it now. Took me a minute. Got it.
I recognize that footprint. It's the same as the one found at the crime scene. What's this? The rock path leading back towards the museum. This staircase is a tree. And this tree is a staircase. And this place is so weird.
It's not weird. This is actually a really nice place. I like the colors of this area.
It's like a little forest back here.
Ooh, let's go forward. Let's venture onward. I absolutely love the animations of this place.
Someone please tell me why there's a house here.
Why not?
Well, the lights are on. Maybe somebody's home.
Let's go investigate.
The latch is broken on this door. It seems I can fix it with those 3 cogs if I just put them in the right place. Once they're on the right pins, I can move the handle at the bottom to try and open the door.
See if I can remember how to do this. Ooh, ow, my ear. Nope. 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 Let's work backwards. Nope. No. Okay. Got it.
I am amazing.
That's exactly how I feel right now. Ooh! Forgot her place.
This is like an oven? Or is it just a boiler?
It's both!
It's so old-fashioned it hurts my brain.
Is your brain that tiny?
I'm indoors. What a treat. A little blanket on a little bed in a little house. It makes very little sense.
How doesn't that make sense? I don't understand.
There's a whole load of needles and wool on that shelf. Or should I say yarn?
It's yarn.
I just don't know anymore.
It's yarn. Now, wool could be a type of yarn that's material for the yarn, but it's yarn.
Check out that sunlight beaming through the window. It's so bright I should have brought my sunglasses.
Alright, let's... I'm looking at everything in the room before I make the obvious.
The owner of this house seems to enjoy reading. Though, I'm not sure what else there is to do up here, actually.
Did you not see the yarn?
You just walked straight into my house, did you?
Yeah, pretty much. Not exactly.
Not exactly. I had to climb up here first.
Normally, I have methods for dealing with unwanted attention. But I
really
can
like
make
her design.
exceptions for harmless idiots.
Do you get any attention up here?
Most of the time, people like to leave me alone. But I don't think you're going to, are you?
No.
Who is it? Who's this
I could
smartass?
make an excuse and say it's my job to ask you about last night, but to be honest, I climbed all the way up here and I just like being indoors.
Well, if you insist on staying, I'll tell you. I'm Lady Weybridge, and I think
Oh, yeah,
you
he
might be
is.
climbing up the wrong trees.
I'm Detective Grimoire, and I think I might agree with you. What do you do here? Did you work for Richard Remington?
I was living here before that man was even born.
How old are
And
you?
I have absolutely nothing to do with him, or his little tourist attraction.
You're exaggerating. How long have you been here? Just in this treehouse? What do you do up here?
I've been here longer than anyone. Even longer than, well, anyone.
I like numbers.
60 years, something like that.
What have you been doing for that time? If you don't mind me asking.
I have many reasons to be here, but
I'm a
I
widow
won't
who
bore
wants to
you with all the
escape the world.
details of my life.
I'm sure there's one detail worth writing down.
I like to study the plants and flowers in this area. I've learned many things from them.
Now, what about this little chemistry set
Basically,
you've got on your table?
Poison Ivy
I
would
wouldn't
be
call it
years
a
on.
chemistry set. But if you bring me an object that has liquid on it, or inside it, I'll tell you what that liquid consists of.
Wow.
Nice.
How do you do that?
Chemistry.
It's not a chemistry set. How do you figure out the chemistry? Fill out the information. Chemistry. A page from Weybridge book of pressed flowers contains information about all the flowers in the swamp and where they grow. A green and red species only grows on the outside of the door of the museum and can't be found anywhere else. Interesting.
Your job is to ask me about what happened last night.
Do you even know what happened last night?
I know more than you might imagine.
Oh, that sounds useful. Can you tell me? What were you doing?
I was here.
I mean, you
In
don't really
my
need
house
chemistry
by
sets
myself.
to know about chemistry. This is true.
What else?
That's it.
Thanks.
Wow, you give me
Just
so much
give
information.
me a minute to write all this down.
Alright, lady, what do you know?
can put that away.
Hey,
No thanks.
what about this?
If you bring me something with liquid on it, I might be able to help you.
Interesting.
You can put that.
What about this
This
one?
is a 60-year-old journal. It was on display in a museum.
I know what it is.
I thought you might.
Oh! I see.
They're samples of flowers that grow in this area. 2 of them you don't see very much anymore. And 1 of them only grows around the museum.
Let's see, what else can I present you with? What
No,
about this?
thank you.
Oh, well, okay. Sorry to have disturbed you.
Let's see. First thing we do is put the sample of liquid into the cauldron, then tap the faucet.
So...
And now, we just have to match the color of that liquid with these ingredients.
I'm assuming it's blue and yellow. Oh,
Got
what'd you know? Blue and yellow make green.
Now I know what that liquid consists of.
I do know my color wheels.
I'll write it down in my notes.
Nice. Let's see. Let's see if she knows anything about these people.
I'm not even sure who that is.
That's hilarious.
You should ask someone else.
What about
A
you?
fascinating old woman who lives in a wonderful treehouse.
She's not keen on visitors, is what she said.
Show it to someone who doesn't live in a tree.
Okay, what about Bucky?
I'm not even sure who that is.
Yes, you are. Okay, what do you know about Remington?
I have nothing good to say about that man.
Okay,
so I
good.
won't say anything at all.
You could tell me anything. I don't care if you don't like him. Whatever. Have I presented to you all the clues? Oh, wait, no, hold on.
Let's see. First thing we then tap. And now, got it. Now I... Oh. Ah, that looks pretty similar to last time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have nothing else to give you. I guess you have to come back when we can talk to you again. Well, see you later, ma'am. I'm off to do whatever. Oi! I think we should go that way. Oh, where? On the cafe.
Predictably, a trash can. And I just can't resist taking a look inside.
Best detective ever. You have to look inside the trash can. Trash cans will tell you everything.
The glamorous life of a detective. My favorite part of the job. Maybe there's something underneath the trash in here.
Honestly, going through the trash whenever it comes to like finding things out is so interesting. I mentioned this before. When people throw away things thinking that no one will ever find this again, in reality, that's the best place to look through things. Hello!
Hello, what's this? Or something more sinister.
This is like a design for a boggy costume. What's going on around here?
Are we really talking about a swamp creature here?
I forgot this one. Okay. The thing that I found in my trash explains what.
The costume design I found in the trash can explains what Burl's black and white photo was doing last night. The costume design I found in the trash can explains what the swamp creature was doing last night. Did the real creature show up last? The costume design I found in the trash can explains what the boggy character was doing last night. No.
I don't remember. Don't matter. I'm actually stuck. I'm actually trying to figure out what the answer is, because I seem to not know the answer to this, and I thought I did. Did this?
The costume design I found in the trash can explains what Burrow's black and white photo is showing. My detective's intuition is kicking in. That black and white photograph, I'm not sure I'm looking at the real Boggy here, and I think these designs I found in the trash can might be the answer. I'll ask around, see if anybody knows anything about this. Oh, and I should start looking for the costume itself. If I can find that, there'll be some pretty impressive evidence.
A deadly disguise.
I have something for you.
Another gift already. Where are you keeping all this stuff? You don't even have pockets in that dress.
I don't need a pocket to carry a key.
What key?
You could try it on any door you like. Although, I recommend you try it on that office door.
Remington's office?
Mm-hmm.
She's so clever. We'll get there. I'll keep going for a little bit longer.
A shipwreck? In a swamp? Does that make any sense?
No.
And why is there a cafe growing out of the side? Grass, trees, nothing unusual. The tables and chairs are made out of parts of a ship, I think. Never really learned much about ships.
You should learn more.
Ah, yes. I heard they were sending somebody over. So you're Detective Grimoire.
At your service. Well, kind of. You're a suspect too.
Of course, of course. Feel free to be as suspicious as you like. I won't be offended. You can call me Harper.
How did you know my name?
I can only assume I must have read about one of your many exploits. But I think you'll find the swamp to be your greatest challenge.
Probably not.
You mean this murder case? I'm sure I can handle it.
The swamp itself has a history that has captured many imaginations, for better or for worse. My advice to you, look to the past. It could be the way forward.
I'm supposed to look to the past, right? Richard Remington founded Boggy's Bog when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago.
No? Okay. this one?
Richard Remington built the museum because the swamp creature was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago. What is that? I'm starting to piece together the history of this place. Richard Remington founded Boggy's Bog when Boggy became a famous cartoon character. I don't get it. See? Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago. Lady Weybridge. She was living here when Boggy was first discovered by the explorer.
Let's go talk to her in a second, but let's talk more about you, sir.
So, you sit in this boat all day and sell food to people? To tourists, I guess?
Not just the tourists, but the employees too. To anyone who is hungry or thirsty. I know everyone's favorite foods.
What are they? Oh, and is this a real shipwreck? How did it get here?
I can't expose all the secrets of the swamp. I don't want to spoil your fun.
Is there a secret to this shipwreck?
No.
You just spoiled my fun.
You'll find out there are some secrets worth keeping when you've worked here as long as I have.
Well, how long is that?
I've worked in the swamp almost as long as Mr. Remington. We knew each other for a long time.
Really? So what was his favorite food?
Mr. Remington enjoyed a specialty only I can make. The bog dog. He ate one nearly every day. A real creature of habit, that one.
It looks like a hot dog.
It's similar, but I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. I'm not serving them today.
Why not?
It's not a
Yesterday I found this strange green powder in my entire supply.
Guess I'm out of luck today. Well, thanks for the information. You've been a real big help.
Wait, take this with you. If you get thirsty, it's the most popular drink in Boggy's Bog. Swamp juice. Try it.
It looks like... Well, I'll try some later on.
You're in luck. That's my last bottle. A lot of swamp juice has been disappearing from my stock recently. I can only assume I must have been selling them all.
Please no, my kids say that every
Something strange happened at the cafe yesterday.
Oh my god, yay, I love it.
Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Hopper sold him a bog dog. Hopper is basically in charge of all the food and drink here in Boggy's Bog. I'll have to ask him about this.
Well, we're already here, so let's see. What's
You're
happening
going
last
to
night?
ask me about what I was doing last night.
Well,
I
yeah.
was going to. Were you going to tell me anything?
No.
I was working here at the cafe in the evening, and I had a couple customers. Eventually they all left and I locked up and went home.
Do you lock away everything at night?
Yes, you're supposed
Not
to.
everything, just the storeroom over there.
You mean that little door on the side of the ship? Is there anything else to lock?
Why
I
not
leave the
everything?
chairs, tables, and trash can where they are. Lifting things like that is not a job for an old man.
Don't you have anyone to help you?
Mr. Remington liked to keep us down to his skeleton staff. There simply aren't many people who would choose to work in a place like this.
A skeleton staff? Well, that's convenient for him since...
Don't make that joke. I won't laugh.
I'm laughing though, because I think that's funny.
Someone made a costume to look like the creature. They must have known it would get a reaction for sure. But I wonder if they planned things to go this far.
When
Is he
you're
Jewish?
finished theorizing, I was going to show you these sketches I found in the trash can right next to your cafe.
It does seem like someone was designing a costume. A disguise, perhaps.
I don't know.
Try to think why somebody would do such a thing.
I don't know.
What could they achieve with it?
I don't know.
Not yet.
Grimoire is really dumb.
He's dead, but he always knew what he was getting involved with.
Ooh.
He don't know everything.
I can't tell if he's like Jewish
I
or
can't help you with that one. Sorry.
Okay, what about
Why
this?
don't you?
Oh, okay.
He don't know everything.
Oh, okay. What about this? Horrible. No, okay. Okay, what
Why
was
don't
this?
you?
No, okay. What about this?
It's the most popular drink that I sell. In fact, a lot of it has disappeared from my stocks recently. It was me. Strange green powder isn't supposed to be there. You don't know it. I can't help.
What about
Why
this?
don't you?
No, okay. Let's talk to you.
I was told Remington left the cafe looking ill last night. Since you seem to be completely in charge of all the food and drink around here, I'm afraid this is something I can't ignore.
He was an old man. His health wasn't perfect. But I'm not arguing with you. I think it is suspicious. What do you think caused it?
What do I think caused it?
Oh, you know, what is ketchup, mustard, possibly pepper, green crossbones with death, meaning possibly poison. I wonder, what could have possibly, absolutely, positively done it? Oh!
A
Would you
bomb
look at
dog he
that?
ate at the cafe gave him food poisoning.
I keep all my food locked in the storeroom when I'm not here. You think he was poisoned?
I think he was poisoned.
Poisoned by me?
The storeroom was broken into with a lockpick.
A lockpick? I've never encountered a problem like this before. But since last night, am I in a position to doubt a claim like that?
Somebody knew that Remington would eat a bomb.
I love his accent.
He
I
ate
do.
one every day, right?
Do you suppose this explains the missing bottles of swamp juice as well?
I'm 45% done with this game. I forget how fast I can actually do all this stuff. Okay, a popular drink sold at the cafe in Boggy's Bog. His appearance of the strange liquid and slime. Harper says that a lot of swamp juice has disappeared from his stock recently. I think once we get to like 50%, we're going to call it. Oh, and then we go here. Oh, I actually can talk to her.
Someone please. Well,
Forget that we can talk to her now.
I found these designs for a boggy costume. Do you know anything about them?
You're asking me because you can tell I'm experienced with needlecraft and sew my own clothes?
No.
Yeah.
But that's a good reason. Let's go with that.
Well, these designs look like they should have stayed where they were.
In
Ooh,
the trash?
snap.
On paper.
Oh, how come?
Whoever drew them didn't really know what they were doing.
You would have done it differently?
Of course. I am a seamstress. There was a time when I considered sewing my craft, my livelihood.
Really?
When Richard Remington arrived in the swamp years ago, I offered him some of my handmade fabric as a peace offering. I don't think he cared much for it. Most likely he threw it away. A pointless gift from some strange woman.
Aw, I like your stuff. I think you're great. Ooh, we have more.
If you bring me some...
Let's see. First and and now...
Seems to be always the same stuff, so...
Got it! Now I'll write it down in my notes. Was that the same as last time?
Yes.
This was the exact same liquid.
Exactly.
You You should ask some.
I love how no one likes to have a say about anyone else here.
You can put.
Whoopsie! Alright, so now we have a challenger.
I've been looking into the history of this place.
Oh, really? Did you find anything?
Yeah. You.
You must be confused.
Never.
You found me today when you barged into my house. Remember?
You were already living in the swamp when the explorer came here 60 years ago.
Yep.
The explorer? That man they talk about in the museum?
The one who originally discovered Boggy. You know
Didn't
who I'm
say it was a
talking
man.
about. His sketches and notes are the only real evidence we have for this creature.
You already have his journal. You learned to read, I assume. What else do you need?
I think you wrote...
No. Oops. Oh shoot, it started all over.
Oh, did you find anything?
Yeah. You.
You must be confused. You found me today when you barged into my house. Remember?
You
Yes.
were already living in the swamp when the
I
explorer
forget that you
came
can
here
actually
60
mess up
years ago.
this game.
The explorer? That man they talk about in the museum?
The one who originally discovered Boggy. You know who I'm talking about. His
Ew.
sketches and notes are the only real
Originally, when I
evidence we
played this
have
game,
for
I thought she
creature.
was the
You
explorer.
already have his journal. You learned to read, I assume. What else do you need?
Did I click that one? See, I'd be forgetting what I clicked, so now I'm gonna be like, dang, what did I say? And then I'm gonna put myself in a bad position because I forgot what I said. Let's see if I can remember. Was it this one?
I think you
I
wrote-
did it again. Hold on, I get it. I'll get it. I get it.
Oh, did
You were
that
the one. You know who. His sketch.
you learned?
There's a page
There it
missing
is.
from the journal. I think you know where it is.
Why on earth would I know something like that?
Because you've
Because
been
you
here
were
the
only
longest.
person here when the explorer visited the swamp. I have a suspicion that the swamp creature wasn't the only thing he discovered.
You're suggesting he gave me a page from the back of his journal.
Yeah,
Or
why not?
what? That I stole it?
You took it from
No?
the...
Oh, I messed up again. Dang it. I'll get it. I promise I'll get it.
Rem-
You...
that
The one... You know... His sketch... There's a... Because I...
you're or
She didn't do this one.
You stole...
No? Okay, so she's not a thief.
did
Yeah.
Rem-
Oops, I did it again. So I'm not paying attention. I'm just clicking away. Hold on. I got this. I got
Oh,
this. I
did you-
promise I got
Yeah.
this.
you Rem-
Don't lose faith in me.
You...
that
The... You know...
you you
There's a... Because I...
you or
There it is.
I really have no idea. If I could see it, I might be able to make up my mind.
it doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs here with me. You understand?
What if I promise I'll return it after I finish clearing up this mess?
Then I'll show it to you.
Oh,
Is this
she's
you?
so
He
pretty.
drew you into his journal? It's beautiful.
60 years ago. Yes. He left the page with me. We agreed the rest of the world would manage without it.
I think there's something on the back.
Hola!
What's this? Footprints.
The lost page ripped out of the explorer's journal, given to 𝕤𝕒𝕤 by the explorer 60 years ago. Aw, he must have thought she was really pretty. Features a drawing of a Lady 𝕤𝕒𝕤 at 20 years old. Also features drawings of Boggy's feet and the footprints. He has 2 toes and a back at the back and 1 at the front. Well, 2 toes at the front, 1 at the back. This page proves that the footprints were found outside of the office were not made by the real Boggy. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a quick bathroom break, but do not go anywhere. Oops. Pressing all the wrong buttons today. We learned everything we could from her for now. Ooh, homegirl is sitting here. Wonder why.
Aha! The great detective returns. Did you run out of ideas? Need a little push in the right direction?
No.
No need to push me, but the direction would help.
Like it or not, I'm here to help you.
I get it. You give me a map, then you magically disappear and hide behind a tree for an hour. You want me to be impressed?
Did you talk to all the suspects yet?
I'm working on it. You can't rush these things, you know.
Have you noticed anything unusual?
I noticed
Have
that
you?
this is going to take longer than I originally planned, and I'm getting the feeling that I wasn't
See
wrong
you,
about this
Upsy.
tourist attraction.
What do you mean?
I had a hard time believing there could be a place like this here in a dark corner of a swamp. It didn't make sense, and it still doesn't.
Some things don't make sense straight away. You need to look a little closer.
At what? The mud? The water? The trees?
All of it.
Nope. They've been here for years, and they're not to blame. They belong here.
She's gone again. Hiding in a bush, no doubt. I wonder if she'll ever tell me something I can actually understand.
She told you everything, actually. To be honest, if you didn't get that, I don't understand how. A little girl says everything we need to know. Okay. Ooh, hello, you.
Ah, you've arrived at a bad time, my friend. For once, they don't actually want tourists walking around this place.
I always arrive at a bad time. It's what I do. I'm a detective, not a tourist.
My apologies. It's just, you have the same wide-eyed expression as the kids that come here. Running around, spending their parents' money, you know.
Well, you know, it's not every day I visit a swamp full of such unique specimens.
That's what you want to call
It's
them.
no problem. You're just thinking what we all thought when we arrived for the first time.
Why didn't they put in a bathroom?
No, you're thinking, this place is beautiful. What a lucky man I am to be here.
That's,
I am
yeah,
I? Well,
that's
if you
a
say
one
so.
thing.
Edward Everstone, at your service.
That's a pretty cool name. Can I call you Ed?
You don't need to. Everyone just calls me Echo.
Because you're an elevated sense of purpose. You think it's fair? Because you bounce if I threw you.
Why? Because it gives you an elevated sense of purpose?
What? No. Because I always come back. Again and again, until my job is done.
Sure.
You're
Anyway.
protesting, right?
I certainly am. And now that you're here, I'm getting you involved.
What does that mean? Yeah, I haven't got time to hold up signs for you. I'm sorry.
You simply have to hear my message and take it with you.
Go ahead. I'm all ears. Plus, I have a little notebook.
What was the first thing you felt when you saw the sign for Boggy's Bog looming over you?
Well, I thought it was...
Not thought. Felt.
I felt... Well, something seemed wrong. There wouldn't be a tourist attraction in the middle of a swamp like this.
Nope.
There shouldn't be.
My job is done. Clearly your brain is working perfectly, Detective.
So you're against the tourist attraction? Yeah, let's see. You'd rather this area was kept as a natural habitat, right?
Right again. And that precise word, habitat. First and foremost, I'm protesting for animal rights.
Well, okay, I'm following you, but it's not like they're cutting down trees or anything like that, right?
Nah.
All animals deserve the
He's
right to
such a
live in
tree
peace,
hugger.
and I promise you, on a normal day, this place is far from peaceful.
Are you talking about the swamp creature? About Boggy?
A creature like that. He's earned the right to be left alone. We're fools to invite ourselves into his home like this on a daily basis, assuming he's not going to mind.
Oh, you're
assuming
definitely a tree
he'll
hugger,
keep to
huh?
himself and let us walk around with his face on our t-shirts.
Well, I agree. I think he should be left alone. But like you said, he can probably handle himself. And if no one has even seen him in 60 years, I don't really see the problem.
Unlike you, Detective, I never had an academic calling in life. I was never even a talented artist or musician or anything.
So this is
instead,
your
I
only
made the
personality?
decision to stand up for those who were getting a raw deal.
So this is your full personality. Got you.
You come here every day.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm only going to ask you about one of those days. What were you doing yesterday evening?
I was here at my protest spot until fairly late. Then I went to get something to eat at Harper's Cafe before I...
Wait, you ate at the cafe here? Doesn't supporting the tourist attraction like that kind of go against your protest?
A man has to eat, doesn't he? I don't think the meager contributions of one person are going to keep this place afloat. Especially now.
And you're sleeping here? Doesn't it get cold at night?
Well, I came prepared, of course. I usually find myself with 1 or 2 extra layers to wear. Most of this bulk is padding, I promise you.
I'm sure it is. So you stayed here the whole night?
That's right. And I admit I may have heard some stranger than usual sounds floating around the swamp last night.
What kind of sounds?
It's impossible to say. This place fills with the most terrifying sounds at night.
Even
Hundreds
if
of
he
animals,
wasn't in a swamp,
some
I feel like I
tiny,
can
some
smell
much
him.
larger, awaken and make their own protests. Every night until the sun rises in the morning.
Insects make noises at night. Okay, I've written it down. What can you tell me about these designs for a costume? A Boggy costume.
It's Boggy! I must admit, I've been a fan of his before I ever came to the swamp.
A fan? So you're interested in cryptozoology?
Oh, no, I meant, well, Boggy has been in all kinds of cartoons and comic strips. He's one of the greatest characters of the last 100 years. I got some comics in my tent. You really should see.
But he was only discovered 60 years ago.
Oh, that's true. Well, I rounded up.
But what about his costume?
That's
Have you
weird.
seen anyone wearing it?
The way you said
I
that.
can honestly say I've never seen anyone wearing anything like that. And I'm a very observant person.
Let's see if I can go through stuff with you.
Show it to some...
No?
No,
Okay.
I'm afraid... Show... This is the journal, correct? The one that man left here 60 years ago?
You
It's
seem
true.
a little unsure of the details. Shouldn't you have read up on all this stuff?
Forgive me. It's hard for me to get the image of Boggy as the lovable cartoon character out of my mind. He's just so iconic. Did you know, in 1973, he...
But you're protesting to protect the real swamp creature. The cartoon character is just some commercial byproduct, right?
Yes, yes.
You do know it doesn't
of
look like
course.
that. It looks nothing like that. Your protest seems weird that you don't realize that.
No thanks, my... I'm afraid... Show it... No thanks, my...
Just saying.
I'm afraid...
Okay.
Show it... No thanks. I'm afraid
Talk people.
the murder victim.
Since last night, yeah. But he was the owner of Boggy's Bog. Did you know him?
Not personally. To be honest, I'm quite glad about it.
You would think he would know him, being that he protests his habit every day. But I guess not.
Boggy is my prime suspect, you know. The creature you're trying to protect.
Protect is the wrong word. If your suspicions were correct, we could both agree he's a creature that doesn't need protecting.
You think he might be the murderer?
I think he's a wild animal, and he wants to be left alone at any cost.
It's the way he says things that makes me very curious.
Ah yes, Agent Folder. A good man.
You know him?
We get on rather well, and we shared a number of views on the way things were run around here.
Oh, you're both insane. Got it.
You're wasting your time with that one. I have nothing to say.
Let's keep going back.
You're asking the wrong person.
Thought you would say something about him.
He seems like a good person. He even sympathizes with my cause.
He agrees with your protest? But he works here, right? And he was friends with Remington.
I think that was the only reason he worked here. Maybe he'll see the light now and leave the swamp behind him. Maybe everyone will. A man who has sacrificed luxuries to protect those who need protecting. Pretty good beard, too.
I really do like what they say about themselves. It's really interesting. I can't question you yet. Let's see who else we can talk to. Oh, she's here.
It's the base of a check. Was this entire place built around it?
Hey,
You
sweetie.
again. Ready with some cryptic advice, no doubt?
Don't let them take him.
Who? The murderer? That's my job. I gotta make sure that they...
No, the creature. Don't take him away. This place is his home.
Oh, Boggy. Hey, don't worry. I didn't really believe he could be, responsible for this mess.
You didn't?
Well, no. I don't believe he could ever hurt anyone.
So, he won't get in trouble? You won't have to
No.
leave?
She's so cute.
Oh, he's been out here for what, 60 years, hasn't he? And stayed out of trouble for that long. I have a feeling some detective isn't going to change all that in one day.
Well,
Thank you for the hydrate.
in that case, he says... Thank you.
She is so adorable, and I absolutely love her so much. Let's see if we can go back this way. Nope. I think I went too far. There she is, my favorite girl.
It's a humble gift shop wagon. Let's take a look.
I love her.
Bonky dolls, bonky toys, bonky postcards. Yeah, this stuff isn't half bad. Brightly, is there something behind them?
Ooh, what's
What
that?
on earth? This thing doesn't seem to belong here at all. It's some kind of roughly made costume head, I think. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside. 2 clues for the price of 1, I guess.
Nice. Look at this.
It's a photo of the swamp entrance. Or it could be a painting. There's really no way to tell, you know?
I mean, you have to really look.
It's a map of the swamp. Mine seems a little older than this one, though.
piece from the homemade boggy costume, found hidden among the boggy hats in the gift shop. It has an unusual lining with a red swirly pattern. The red lining was a piece ripped from some curtains. Let's get anything else. The slime is a mixture of sugar, green food coloring, carbonated water.
What?
Sorry to interrupt. I can see that you're, hard at work.
You weren't here yesterday.
Oh, no, I only just arrived.
You're the detective, right?
I'm a detective.
So, that was your hat I saw blowing through here.
You spotted it too.
If you're good at your job, you may have realized that it's kind of dead around here. So
I love this
generally
character so
notice
much.
magical
She's so
floating
great.
detective hats. Oh, and don't worry, you look better without it.
How do you know?
Oh, I have a good imagination.
I love her. I love Sally so much. She's so great.
I didn't expect to see someone your age working in a place like this. But then again, I didn't expect there to be a place like this in a place like this.
I only started working here this year anyway. It's temporary. Just running the gift shop to earn a little extra money. Don't ask how I ended up here.
I'll save that question for a different day. You don't seem at home here exactly.
I hate it. This place is disgusting.
Come on, you don't think it's kind of beautiful?
You would say that. You only just got here. You'll get sick of it.
If I wasn't here, I'd be stuck in my office doing paperwork.
At least at your office, you don't have to bring spare clothes every day. It's impossible to leave this place without being covered in dirt.
Challenge accepted.
Love her.
When you have a moment free from your busy schedule, I need to ask you about last night.
I know, but it won't help. I worked here during the day, then left my gift shop and went home in the evening, same as every day.
You just leave your gift shop here when you go?
No, I put it in my pocket.
Yeah, seriously though, as much as I appreciate sarcasm, I think I'd get in trouble if I wrote something like that down in my notes.
Well, look, you've noticed the gift shop has wheels and you're thinking, oh, she's pretty lazy to leave it lying around. But if you want to try pushing this thing through the swamp, be my guest. And I can't lock it up, so I just leave it here overnight. Nobody's ever stolen any of this lousy merchandise anyway. I even left my spare clothes here when I went home last night.
You left them here? By the gift shop?
Yeah, it's no big deal. They were all still here this morning. Kind of.
Kind of?
I think someone played a stupid joke, and my spare black leggings were covered in some disgusting swamp slime when I found them in the bag this morning. If you're going to take my clothes and mess them up, then just keep them. I don't want them back. You know what I mean?
I absolutely do.
Where's Sally's back leggings? Sally said someone played a joke on her since they were covered in a strange liquid slime. Sally left her leggings there in the bag and left the bag in the swamp last night. Interesting.
I have a theory that the murderer was wearing a costume. A homemade outfit designed to look like the swamp creature.
I've never seen anything so ridiculous. You've never seen me in that.
I know it's not exactly the latest fashion, but...
No, you'd never see me in that. It would cover me up entirely.
That's the point of a disguise?
Look, detective. When you have legs like mine, you don't want to be wearing disguises.
Is that why you always wear those black leggings?
You've only just met me and you're making assumptions about what I always wear.
And making assumptions is the fun part of being a detective.
I love her
You're
voice.
right. I always wear these.
Her voice is so perfect. It's so seductive. And I wish I could have a voice like that all the time. Like, her voice is so great. Like, everything she says is absolutely like, it's like honey when she talks. It's so, and like, she's so flirtatious with him in this game, and I love it.
Where are you keeping all this stuff? In your pockets? Is that one of your clues? These hats look pretty stupid. Luckily, Kids seem to like stupid stuff.
You sell a lot of them?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
they're pretty popular. I have no idea. Where are you Is that one of your clues? I have... This was taken near the forest at the back of the swamp, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Mm-hmm. The water is really clear back there. The legs of this thing are reflected in the bottom half of the photo. It's a nice shot, actually.
A reflection? Oh, yeah, of course. A reflection in the water.
Interesting.
Where are you... Is that one of your clues?
What was I gonna say about
I have-
that? What about...
Where are you...
Nope.
Is that one of your...
Nope.
I can draw way better than that.
Can you show me?
There's no time. Maybe in the sequel.
Ooh, I like that. I do like that. I like that little nudge to that. It's cute.
That is not something from my gift shop. I've never seen it before. I have no idea.
Nope, you know nothing like that.
They're mine, but I left them here last night. Now they're covered in slime, and I don't want to go near them.
What do you know about people?
He made sure I always got paid, so I can't say anything bad about him.
You can if you like. He won't hear you.
You should have more respect for the dead.
I know.
I think the cartoon character is kind of dumb.
What about the real creature?
I've never met him.
Me neither.
Is that your new friend? Sweet. I really don't know what to tell you.
So you never met her?
Is that one of the other suspects? They're more suspicious than me. Let's agree on that.
Ah, her voice is so beautiful.
Is that your new friend? Sweet. I really don't know what to tell. Yeah, I have a pretty good view of him from here. Anyone supporting animal rights is okay in my book. His protests used to have a bit more energy, though. He spends more time inside his tent these days.
What's he doing in there?
I'm happy to say, I don't know.
There might be something I can ask Echo about. Echo spends less time holding
That's kinda
the
really
protest
obvious.
sign and more time in his tent. I wonder if Echo can tell me what he's been doing that's more important than his protest.
Her. I don't know why she still works here, to be honest. One murder is one murder too many.
I'll see you later, Sally. Beautiful woman. Her. Alright. Let's go do all the people.
He was a friend for many years. If you... I may be able to help you. You're prime suspect, am I correct?
Well, technically, but I'm not even sure he's real.
Don't worry about that. Real or not, the creature's the most important part of this mystery.
Which one? The cartoon character or the real creature?
Exactly.
I love you, Harper.
I don't know very much about them.
What about
You have a
her?
lot of suspects on that list. I
Them?
don't know what to say.
What about
I
her?
don't know very much about them.
Okay. What about
You
you?
have a lot of suspects on that list.
Interesting. He didn't say anything about himself. Out of everybody else.
It's here a lot. I think he's been putting less effort into his protests recently. Which is a shame. I think it's an admirable cause.
Do you talk to him much?
Not really. Sometimes he likes to talk, just casual conversation. He asks how business is going and what everyone likes to eat, nothing of real importance.
Why does he care?
I don't know what to say. Why don't you show? That's the same.
This curtain. Ooh, yes. Okay.
You don't know every. I can't help you with that. Why don't?
Just want to get through everything with you. See you, Harper.
You should ask someone else.
Interesting.
Show it doesn't it? If you bring me...
Okay.
He drew me into his journal. I was 20 years old. That's the end of the story.
I bet it's not. Does this explorer have a name?
Yes.
Are you going to tell me?
No.
Just throw out the entire romance plot. Just nope. Does he have a name? Yeah.
You can. No, thank you.
She's like, nah, get out.
Let's see. And now,
I do like that they denied any track of that. That's kind of cute.
Now I know. I'll write it down. What's going on here? That was definitely the same as the other tests.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll see you later, love. We have more people to go talk to. Forget this game is not that short. It's a bit shorter than the other one.
I found these designs for a boggy costume.
Oh, some ridiculous new merchandise for tourists to waste their money on.
No, I believe the murderer was dressed like this last night when they attacked Remington.
If they were trying to scare him out of the swamp, they should have spent more time making an accurate design.
What do you mean?
Well, this design is some bizarre hybrid between the real creature and the cartoon character. It simply hasn't been researched properly.
What's wrong with it?
Well, those flippers? Pure guesswork. Nothing but foolish imagination. Nobody knows what Boggy's feet look like. No footprint has ever been recorded.
So tell me, Special Agent Folder, how would you do a better job researching it if nothing has ever been recorded?
Oh, well,
you know.
That's, I mean, it's all a matter of taking the time to... It's just that there's no way anyone would believe nothing but foolishness.
Alright, so we've hit the 4-hour mark, and I usually don't go longer than that. And we're at 70% of the game, which means we have 30% of the game left. So, the game is self-saving, so don't worry about it, because it's not like I will literally have problems if I decide to get out of the game. Yeah, I'm about 68% of the way to the game. So... So what we're gonna do is leave this here, and I will literally come back to this game if you like, and I'll finish it for you if you want next week. Along with whatever, if I get to figuring out what's going on with Night Call. So, thank you guys for joining me for this wonderful stream, and I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you tomorrow, because tomorrow's a good day for me and the rest of you lovely satellites. Good night!